need to know about radon. All this week at 6 and 11.
NBC News at this hour, I'm Mike Jensen. In England today, the scare over baby food widened as 3 babies were rushed to hospitals after eating commercial food spiked with glass and needles. The tampering incidents reported now number more than 50. In this country, St. Paul has followed the lead of its twin city, Minneapolis, in banning plastic packaging. And a group of factory workers in Ohio say they hold a winning ticket for that lottery jackpot of $100 million. More news in an hour.
What? Well, to begin with, good morning. I haven't seen you since yesterday.
I know. I left my jacket upstairs.
That can wait. We have something very important to discuss.
Oh?
Yesterday, I told you that I was going to testify or try to at the courthouse. Well, I did. I went up on the stand. We should sit down.
Go on.
Cass Winthrop ended up asking me a lot of questions. You see, there was a time in my life that I've never told you about. And now the whole town is going to hear about it. Jose, a long time ago, before you were even born, I know. What?
I know what happened in the courtroom, Mama. I was there.
The only person on the DA's witness list who hasn't been called is Detective Rick Graham.
And I think that Morgan will be calling him first thing this morning. Zach will cross-examine.
Right.
And once Rick is finished, then I'm pretty sure Morgan will rest her case.
Which means?
We start presenting ours. First witness I'll be calling is Mitch.
I'm ready.
Is that really necessary, Cass?
Honey, what's wrong?
Honey, when Miss Graves put Mac on the stand, you saw what happened.
Yeah, she's tough.
Exactly. And then there's Charlene. I know you didn't plan any of that, but then her past did come out.
What, do you think my past is going to come out like my criminal record?
I just don't want you to get hurt.
Morgan may bring up Mitch's criminal record in court to try to discredit him. But I feel pretty sure that I can keep that information from being discussed.
Honey, pretty sure?
I can't guarantee anything. I do know that we have to corroborate your story about Derek, and we need to lay the foundation for his testimony.
Yeah, and the only person who can do that is Mitch. Look, I mean, he was there.
My criminal record is no secret. Let the DA say whatever she wants to say. As long as it helps Felicia, let's do it.
Good.
It's gonna be fine. Believe me.
Frankie Frame? Frankie Frame?
Right here.
I have the file you requested on Mitch Blake.
Oh, great.
Where's your ID?
Look, Ted, I already told you that I lost that stupid badge. And to tell you the truth, I'm a little embarrassed to ask for another one because I've lost 2 already. Now, in the meantime, my boss, Morgan Graves, she is going to string me up by my high heels if I don't bring her back this file. Now, you wouldn't want something like that to happen to me, would you?
Next time, I need some ID.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ted. Mitch Blake, convicted of kidnapping? Took his son and ran. He ran away once. I wonder if he... Great. Yeah.
It's about time.
Relax, Jake. I'm only 15 minutes late.
Yeah, well, at least you showed up this time.
What'd you think? I'd be on a plane to Spain with Jamie and the baby?
You know something, Vicky? I wouldn't put that past you.
Sweet.
Let's not fight, okay?
Then why are we having this test?
All I want to do is get the lab results, Vic. Dr. Peterson is in the building.
Just can't wait to get the news.
Vicky, if Stephen is my son, I want to know.
Fine.
Getting awfully casual about this, aren't you?
That's because I know the truth.
Tell me, what piqued your confidence?
Last night, I went over the facts in a calm, rational way, and I realized there's no way this baby can be yours.
Great. Why don't you tell me all about your little revelation in the lab? Come on.
Vicky!
Oh.
Jake! What are you two doing here?
I came here to see Dr. Jansen.
Oh, where's Marley?
I came alone.
Why?
Well, I'd like to discuss some other options with him.
And I tagged along for moral support.
Oh. Well, Jake, I was under the impression that you and Marley had pretty much exhausted your possibilities.
Well, things aren't as simple as I thought they were a few weeks ago.
Well, I'm glad to see you're not giving up.
Yeah, never. Look, I better get going or I'm going to be late for my appointment. Vicky?
I'll be in a minute.
I hope so.
I think we better have a little talk.
Oh, I know.
Here.
I talked to Amanda this morning. I can't believe she was kidnapped by that sicko.
I'm glad she's safe now.
I know. How's Evan?
Oh, Evan, he'll be fine. The bullet went through his shoulder very cleanly, so there's no major damage.
So that's good.
Yeah, I'm just glad there's no one who's seriously hurt.
I know. I wish I could say the same about Charlene. I read the papers this morning.
Yeah, I tried to get through today, but no one would answer the phone. She must have gone through hell on that witness stand.
I feel so terrible for her.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people think less of her for what she did.
Oh, I can just imagine what my mother's going to say on the subject.
But not you.
Of course not. I know what it's like to have a life you're not proud of. But if you live a good life after a mistake, then you should be forgiven.
That's why some people never forgive.
And you always do. That's why I love you so much.
Listen, I've got to get back to work.
Yeah, I better get going,
Vic,
too.
there's one more thing.
What?
It's about Jake. You know, I thought you were going to try to distance yourself a little bit from what's going on with him and Marley.
Right.
And, I mean, you thought that they were getting too involved in our lives and with Stephen.
Yes, I did think that.
So why are you here?
Believe me, Jamie, you'll think I did the right thing by being here today. After Jake leaves this hospital, he is going to have a totally new perspective on things.
You were there?
I was in the crowd.
Oh.
Along with Matthew and Matthew's parents and all the reporters. We all heard your news at once. My mother, the prostitute.
Honey, I had no idea. I would never have. I didn't want you to hear it that way.
Well, I did.
Oh, honey.
Don't touch me.
Josie, I know how hurt and humiliated you must be, but let me explain.
I think I've heard enough.
No, you haven't. It's all a lot more complicated than you think.
That.
Josie, I was young. I was younger than you are now, much younger. I didn't have much money. I was alone.
Excuse it.
No, it doesn't. But I need you to understand.
Oh, I understand one thing. You slept with men and they paid you for it. No wonder Mrs. Corey didn't want me to see her son. I'm not good enough for him. Friends are just trash.
Is this Mr. Arthur Jones of We Fly It?
Speaking.
Hello, this is Francine Reese of Winston & Reese accounting firm.
Never heard of it.
Well, we're small, but we're growing every day. That's our motto. Pretty catchy, huh? Listen, we have a little discrepancy in one of our clients' accounts, and we were wondering if you could help us out.
How's that?
Have you rendered any services in the past several months to a Mr. Mitch Blake?
What if I did?
He says you owe him money.
Look, I guess he wants his money back because we never took off for Honduras.
Look, the plane was all revved up and ready to go. He canceled. He pays.
So he did charter a plane with you to fly him to Honduras?
Hey, who is this?
I told you, it's Miss Francine Reese of Winston and Hello? Yes! Okay. Sorry.
Excuse me.
Rachel Corey.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Frankie Frame. I'm Emma's daughter.
Yes, I know. I've seen you sitting with Charlene.
And I recognize you from an old photo my mom has of you and Uncle Steve.
Really?
Yeah, you haven't changed a bit. You know, back home, everybody's always talking about you and Uncle Steve.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm sorry I've embarrassed you.
No, you haven't. How is Charlene holding up?
Not very well. But what would you expect after that bozo in the European suits does his hatchet job on her?
Cash?
You're a friend of his, right?
Yes, he's a friend. He, used to work for Corey Publishing.
You guys publish Felicia Galant's romance books. I used to read those all the time. Not that I believe in any of that stuff. You're pretty cozy with the defense, aren't you?
Felicia's a good friend.
I hear you paid her bail.
Yes?
Look, Mrs. Corey, I know that Uncle Jason was no saint, but he was Steve's brother. How can you hurt his family this way?
Frankie, there are details of this case that you don't know anything about.
I know that you can't be a friend of the woman who killed Uncle Jason and still be a friend of Charlene's. Now think about that, Mrs. Corey. And if you'll excuse me, I have some pretty serious accounting to do. Oh, sorry.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm getting out of bed is what I'm doing.
Oh, but it's a little early for that, isn't it, darling?
No, it's not.
Oh, come on, back to bed.
Ouch!
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I'm fine. I guess one last visitor won't kill me.
Good, because here I am.
What is that? Is that a bouquet of iris?
Mm-hmm. Just so you won't forget who I am.
Believe me, you are always in my thoughts.
Good, because I was a little bit scared when you disappeared.
Oh, I bet you were. You thought I skipped town, leaving you to handle the trial all alone.
That's absurd.
That's exactly what you thought.
Well, I do think it's time that we did a little bit of catching up.
How so?
Let's start with your adventure, hmm?
Let's not say we did.
But it's such big news, Evan. It's second only to the trial. You took a bullet that was meant for Amanda.
So?
So I'm curious. I mean, why would you risk your life for someone who you claim you despise?
Evan. Hello, Iris.
Hello, Jamie. I just came by to see how our brave employee was doing.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Well, it looks to here like you're going to have an excellent recovery.
Oh, how splendid.
Evan, I want to thank you very much for what you did for my sister.
I was just telling Evan the same thing.
If it wasn't for you, she might be dead right now.
Jamie, I'm just glad she's safe.
Yeah. So am I. Listen, I wish you could make it to the dinner that Mom and Mac are having.
I can.
Well, actually, no, that's later today. So.
Oh, I know that. See, that's why I feel fine. I'm ready to check out of here. It's kind of getting claustrophobic.
Evan, you are still healing.
Wait, look. If you don't check me out, I'll do it myself.
Evan, I don't advise that.
You see? Be reasonable.
No, I am being reasonable. I feel fine. I mean, I am sick of this hospital. No offense, Dr. Jamie. No offense. But I would recover much quicker if I was at home in my bed.
It's still too soon.
It's my choice, right?
Yes.
Well, then I've made it.
Okay. If that's your choice, then, you'll have to sign some papers relinquishing the hospital's responsibilities in case something goes wrong.
Well, that's not a problem.
All right, then I'll see about getting you released.
Well, great. Thanks.
I'll be back in an hour. Get some rest.
I'm glad you're so resolutely in the pink. It doesn't make me feel guilty about getting back to the subject at hand.
Oh, come on, Iris.
Why did you save Amanda? Was it part of the plan?
What plan?
The plan to destroy Amanda.
I do not want any part of hurting Amanda.
What? Oh, you must still be delirious.
No, I am fine, Iris. I just want out.
Okay, I know this is going to be hard on you, so.
I can handle it.
Your brother will be cross-examining him. That's not a ritual that binds two men together as lifelong friends.
Zach is tough, but he's fair. There won't be any hard feelings.
Joanne.
Zach.
Rick. Courtney.
Hello, Zach.
Well, Rick, well, I guess you know he's...
Yep.
Look, Zach, we both have a job to do.
I guess you could say we have something in common.
Well, that and Joanne.
Listen, I've been busy lately with this trial. I hope the two of you haven't talked any more about living together.
Zach?
So you understand.
I told you, everything's just fine.
Hey, you two.
Rachel, hi. Oh, I'm fine. Tim, I'm worried about.
Felicia's concerned because I'm going on the witness stand today, which reminds me, if you'll excuse me, I need to talk to Zach.
Brings up bad memories for him.
Yeah, I just don't want him to get hurt in all of this.
He won't. Cass knows what he's doing. Everything's gonna be all right.
So there's Cass.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi. I need to talk.
Okay.
It's important.
Of course.
You were right.
What is it?
Iris is the chief.
How did you find out?
Her tax return lists all of her dividends and her compensation as CEO of Bennett Publishing.
This is great. If Jason had this information, he could have been blackmailing her.
Well, that would certainly account for the payments she made to him.
And the night of the party, he could have been demanding more money. Maybe more than even Iris could come up with. He might have been threatening to expose her.
You're saying that Iris could have killed Jason?
So now all we have to do is get there to talk to the police and they'll get... He will, John.
Where's Cass?
I believe he's inside. The court's about to reconvene.
Good.
John, wait. How's Charlene doing?
Nicole, your fiancé put her through hell. How do you think she's doing?
Well, Cass never intended to hurt her.
Well, he's got a real funny way of showing it. He tore her apart.
John, I'm just so sorry about everything. Nicole, why don't you go on inside? Right. John, what are you going to do?
I'm go and tell Cass exactly what I think of him.
You can't do that. Not now. He needs to concentrate on the case. This isn't a good time.
Ask somebody who cares.
Well, do you care about Felicia? I mean, do you want to go in there and hurt her by arguing with Cass right now?
No, I don't. Listen, you give your brother a message. You tell him to leave Charlene alone.
John, I know how you must feel.
Oh, do you? Are you lawyers capable of feeling anything? You must have ice in your blood. To take something that happened so many years ago and use it to humiliate a fine woman like Charlene without even a second thought. You tell Cass, I never want to see him near Charlene.
Jake, would you lighten up?
Damn test results.
That's all you care about, isn't it? The fact that Jamie almost discovered what is going on here doesn't bother you at all. What if it was Marley?
Jamie didn't find out, Vicky. Going to the hospital was a necessary risk.
No. We did not have to risk this at all.
I am tired of talking about
Yes,
this.
well, this test was totally unnecessary. After thinking things through clearly last night, I know this baby is Jamie's.
Oh, right, and I'm sorry. You have never doubted that for a minute, right?
I don't doubt it now.
What a difference a day makes, huh? What happened in one day, Vicky, to change your mind?
Well, for one, I looked at the sonogram.
I told you I don't give a damn about those pictures.
All right. What about the birth itself, then? Stephen was born too early to be your son.
Sorry, Vic. Babies are born early all the time.
You only hear what you want to hear. You're obsessed with my baby, fine, have it your way, but do not count on those test results saying that you're the father.
I do not count on anything.
No, you don't only count on it. You pray that it'll be true.
All right.
Now, you asked me to be honest. Why don't you try it yourself?
All right! I do want Stephen to be mine. Thought about it a lot. I like the idea.
And to hell with all the people it hurts, huh?
I'll just have to deal with that, Vicky. First, I want to find out if Stephen's my son.
Josie, you are not trash.
How would you know?
Don't talk to me like that. I am your mother.
You really had me fooled. But now everything, of course, everything makes perfect sense.
What makes sense?
All those times I asked you about your life, you just didn't have time, or you changed the subject.
Yes, I hid the truth. Can you blame me? I wanted a different life for you. I didn't want you to know that kind of shame.
So you made me feel shame in other ways.
What ways, baby?
Every time I wanted to have a good time, wear a short skirt, talk to a guy, you acted like I was wild.
Honey, I didn't want you to send the wrong kind of
signals. About those parties, you made me feel so dirty.
Because I didn't want you to get in too deep, Josie. I needed to protect you.
Protect me? You called me a whore. But hey, I'm not the whore, Mama. You are.
Josie, I did what I thought was best.
Stop it! Stop it! Don't you know that that's the worst thing of all?
I don't understand, baby. I don't.
You are such a hypocrite! You know, it's bad enough that you were what you were. But what's worse is that you walk around this farm like some Sunday school teacher. You know, I remember when you found Matt and I kissing. I remember how you yelled at me. And I remember how you lectured me when I got this ring.
Because I didn't want you to get involved too fast. I didn't want you to ruin your life.
Well, my life is ruined, Mama. And it's not because of Matthew. It's because of you.
No, Josie.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah. What can I, do for you?
I spoke to you earlier about Mitch Blake.
I got nothing to say to you.
But I only need some simple financial information.
Look, honey, I have never seen an accountant dress the way you do. And what are you, a PI?
I'm Mitch Blake's wife.
Where's the ring?
He hacked it to buy those plane tickets for him and his mistress.
Rocky Road, huh?
Yeah, the worst. You know, one time I caught him in a coat room with my best friend.
Guys get restless.
It was our wedding day.
No.
No, look, don't you worry. I'm filing for the Big D, but this is why I need your help. You see, I know that he is trying to take every last dime we had and leave town with this latest fling of his, and I think that the judge should know about that, don't you?
Look, I don't get involved in my customers' business.
Business? We are not talking about business here. This is my life we're talking about.
All right. Take it easy. Look, like I told you on the phone, I was going to fly this guy and some broad down to Honduras.
Now, why the Honduras?
I overheard him say something about no extradition. I guess he was talking about being safely away from you. No offense.
Yeah. That creep will do anything to avoid alimony payments. Do you still have the flight plan?
I don't know. You know, it'll take a lot of time to go through all those records.
Oh, please. It would mean so much to me, and I'll help you look. Come on, what do you say?
And this was the card found on Jason Frame's body.
That's correct.
And it's addressed to Noah Grady from Felicia Galan?
That's right. We later found out from the defendant that Mr. Grady was her stepfather.
I see. Detective Graham, would you read the message inside the card, please?
Merry Christmas, much love, Fanny.
And that's all?
That's all.
So the note contains no threats from Felicia Galan to her stepfather?
No.
No hidden message, nor anything that might link her to Jason Frame?
No.
So the fact that the card was found on Jason Frame's body means really nothing, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is calling for a conclusion.
I'll rephrase the question, Your Honor. Detective Graham, do you have any evidence that the possession of that card would cause Felicia Gallant to shoot Jason Frame?
No, I do not.
No further questions.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Detective Graham, once the defendant was charged with the murder of Jason Frame, did she make a statement?
Yes, she did.
And was she advised of her rights before making this statement?
Yes, but she waived them.
Detective, do you recognize this tape?
Yes, it's the tape we made Miss Gallant's statement on.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to introduce this tape as Exhibit D and play it for our jury.
Objection, Your Honor. That tape was made while my client was under duress.
Your Honor, the testimony clearly states that Ms. Gallant waived her right to remain silent. She wanted to make the statement. Mr. Winthrop has no legal grounds for suppressing it.
I will allow the tape.
Jason Frame was renovating your apartment, isn't that right?
Yes.
So he was around you a lot of the time. Some of that time your husband was out of town?
No, please, don't do this.
I have to ask. Was there anything between the two of you?
I tolerated Jason Frame. I have no idea how he felt about me.
You don't?
No, of course not.
He never came on to you.
Jason would come on to a dead mackerel. If you don't know that about him, then you just didn't know Jason.
Why do you suppose he had a letter from your stepfather in his pocket when he died?
It was a Christmas card.
A Christmas card that was marked return to sender.
Why did Jason Frame have it? I don't know. He was nosy. How should I know why he had it?
Why did he send the card back?
Look, my stepfather was very religious. He didn't approve of my life.
Did Jason Frame know about your relationship with your stepfather?
Look, I don't know why Jason had that card. I don't know what he thought he was even going to do with it. I only know that I shot him by accident.
An accident. Detective Graham, how far away did Ms. Gallant claim she was when she shot Jason Frame?
Several feet.
And what does the ballistics report state?
That the victim was shot at point-blank range.
Quiet.
Thank you very much, Detective Graham. The state rests.
Mr. Winthrop, call to the first witness.
Your Honor, I call Mitch Blake to the stand. Mr. Blake, would you please state your relationship to the defendant?
Felicia Gallant is my wife.
You live together?
Of course.
So you were well aware of the events in her life during the months leading up to her 40th birthday?
Yes, I was.
And what had been going on?
She was being harassed in a series of incidents.
Would you please describe these incidents?
Someone at the time, we didn't know who it was, for example, sent her a book with a very terrifying cover. On another occasion, she received a telephone call that she found very upsetting and disturbing because of a song that was being played to her. An article was done on Felicia's life, and a copy of that article was shredded and left outside of our door.
Did this someone ever confront your wife directly?
Yes, there was a confrontation one evening when Felicia was alone in the restaurant, several weeks later in a church, and finally on the evening of the shooting.
And were the police informed of these meetings?
Yes, they were initially, but they were unable to track anyone down.
I must object to this entire line of questioning. There is no proof that the witness has ever seen this man or that the man even exists.
Your Honor, if the court will grant me a chance to develop this line of questioning...
I'm inclined to indulge Mr. Winthrop for now. Continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I have just one moment, please, sir?
Cass, what are you doing? It sounds like you're making the jury believe that Derek is the murderer. I promised him I'd protect him if he went up and took the stand.
Stacy, what did you expect? I have to establish Felicia's state of mind here for that night, and that's what I'm doing. Mr. Blake, I'd like to turn to the night of the party, if I may. Did your wife tell you what happened in the Hall of Mirrors?
Yes. She said that she was followed into the hall by the man who had been terrorizing her. He was dressed as the circus strongman for the evening's party. She was terrified, and only then did she fire the gun.
So, from what you've told us, Mr. Blake, one might infer that Felicia was not out to get anyone that night, but rather it appears someone was out to get her.
Oh, you can't go in there.
But I have to. I have evidence.
I'm sorry, but rules...
Are meant to be broken, don't you think? Another man in uniform.
What has happened to you?
It's really quite simple, Iris. I'm sick of living for revenge.
Amanda got to you, didn't she? That's it, isn't it?
No, she didn't get to me. She's not the woman that you made her out to be, and neither is Rachel. They're not selfish, and they're not users.
She tried to take my place with my father. Rachel murdered your mother. Have you forgotten that?
I'll never forget that.
Then why don't you do something?
I am. I'm going to leave Amanda alone, and so are you.
Is that a threat, Evan?
Iris, you've done a lot for me. But you remember that we do share a history.
And secrets. Lots of secrets that are better just between us.
Yes, and I'll be sure that I would never reveal you to Mac or Rachel, let alone let them know that you were the chief.
Good. Because I think it's very important that you remember that we sink or swim together. Now, don't forget that.
Iris, you're still here.
Oh, yes, I was just, filling Evan in on some business details. I just wanted to reassure him that everything was just the way it was.
Yes, well, Evan, I don't want you overwhelmed with business right now. You need your rest.
So I think Iris was just leaving.
Yes. Well, bye-bye, Jamie, and bye-bye to you too, you brave big boy. Oh! Almost forgot. Good reading.
Is everything okay at Corey?
Oh, it's great.
How's everything in the real world?
No more questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Graves?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Blake, isn't it true that you have a criminal record?
Objection, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Counsel is well aware that any possible past misdeeds by the witness have absolutely no relevance here.
I agree. Sustained.
Well then, Mr. Blake. Your Honor, may I have one moment, please?
One.
Thank you.
Who is that girl? I've seen her before.
Her name is Frankie Frame, Jason's niece. She's lethal.
Counsel?
We're ready here, Your Honor. All right, Mr. Blake. Do you believe in your wife's innocence?
I believe in my wife's innocence with all my heart.
Then would you please tell the jury why you paid a Mr. Arthur Jones to secretly fly both you and your wife to Honduras?
Objection! This is totally
overruled. Witness will answer the question.
I was going to Central America to shoot some photographs.
Photographs.
I'm a photographer. It's what I do for a living.
And you were going to take your wife, who was out on bail and not allowed to leave this jurisdiction, with you on this business trip.
I was going...
Are you aware that Honduras has no extradition treaty with the United States, Mr. Blake?
Yes.
The truth, Mr. Blake, the truth. Didn't you want to leave this country so that your wife could avoid prosecution?
The truth is...
A simple yes or no is all that's required.
It is not as simple.
Yes or no, Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Yes? Oh. Wonderful.
Iris?
Rachel, what a pleasant surprise. However, I do wish you'd call before you arrive. Calling unexpectedly is such bad form.
Is it?
So, what can I do for you? Good grief, what's wrong?
I thought I'd seen it all from you until now.
Dear Rachel, this is one of our fights. I really don't have the time.
I understand you would do anything to hurt me, but how? Why would you want to hurt your father?
Please, Rachel, why don't you just get to the point?
Why are you trying to destroy him?
Where do you think you're going?
Out.
No. Not until we finish this
It
conversation.
is finished.
Josie, stop this. Look at me. Look at me! No matter what you may think of me, I am still your mother, and I love you. Don't push me away.
Oh, Josie, I'm
We
glad
were
that you...
talking.
Shall I come back?
No, don't bother. I'm leaving.
Listen, I don't know how your mother explains
She
things
didn't
to you.
need to explain.
Josie was in the courtroom when I testified.
Then you're going to have to listen to your mother.
Don't tell me what to do, John. You're not my father.
But I am your mother, and I didn't raise you to talk
no
that way.
more lectures, Mama.
Look, I know you're hurting, Josie, but so is your mother.
I don't care! She lied to me! Everything about her life is a lie, and so is mine.
What I did had nothing to do with you.
How can you even say that? I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
To work? I gotta take care of myself.
No! Honey, right now, you need someone to take care of you. And I'm here for you. I'm your mother.
Don't you get it? I don't want you. You may be my mother, but I wish you weren't. I wish everything was different.
Well, it isn't.
No, it isn't. That's why I hate you.
Josie.
Just let her
no,
go.
John.
Look,
But what she said,
she didn't mean it. She'll come around. She'll come around.
But what if she doesn't? What if I lost my daughter? I've lost her.
Look, Vicky, I know how much you care about Steven.
If you knew that, Jake, you wouldn't be doing this. You are making me hate you.
Doctor, do you know anything?
Yes, I have the results. I don't know if you two are familiar with the techniques we use to determine paternity. In order to establish...
Well, can you just please tell us the test results?
It's not a match.
What?
Based on the blood samples we tested, you couldn't possibly be Steven's father.
I see.
Jake, I know you're upset about this, but I did try to warn you, and I think in the future you will realize that it's for the best.
Jake seems to be taking the news pretty badly.
He'll get over it. Dr. Peterson, I hope you realize how important it is to me that this test remains between you and me.
Yes, I do understand your special concern since your husband is a colleague of mine, but believe me, I would never break the confidentiality of any of my patients.
Of course not. Thank you.
Now, you can put those concerns behind you and deal with the future.
That's exactly what I plan on doing.
Order! Come to order, please.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Winthrop?
Forgive me. Mr. Blake, whose idea was it to run away?
The idea was totally mine.
The defendant made no objection?
Well, she didn't know.
But you both went to the airport. How was that possible?
I took her to the airport under the pretense of a meeting with her niece.
And once she found out the truth?
She didn't want to go.
What was your state of mind at that time?
At that time, I would have done anything to get her to leave and come with me.
Mr. Blake, do you have a criminal record?
He's doing this to save you, Felicia.
Yes.
And what were you convicted for?
The charges were kidnapping.
No, look, he's undoing the damage, Felicia, as much as he can.
Would you please tell the court the circumstances?
Several years ago, I was in a very bitter custody fight where I lost my son. At one point, I wanted to see him, and I wanted to be with him. I guess I overreacted. I was charged with kidnapping. And I guess I overreacted this time when I tried to convince my wife or get my wife to come with me. I did what I thought was best because I love her, but there is no reason she should be punished for something that I've done.
The witness is responding far beyond the scope of the question.
Sustained. Jury will disregard Mr. Blake's final comments.
Mr. Blake, thank you. No more questions.
Witness may step down.
Destroy him? You must be out of your mind.
How could you do it? Why would you want to destroy your own father?
Oh, just get out.
I know, Iris. You know what? That you were behind the takeover. That you were the chief.
Tonight, after The Cosby Show, the Reverend Jesse Jackson makes a special guest appearance on A Different World. Then, oh, that Sammy's a sly kind of guy on Cheers. And John's on Cloud 9. What's his secret? Or better yet, what's her secret? On Dear John tonight.
The only thing we can count on is our future.
But the future is threatened when a desperate woman
Adrian must have gotten it by now.
reveals a painful secret.
I'd give anything to see her face. I want you to know about your real father.
The moment of truth.
His name is Justin Kyriakis.
This week on Days of Our Lives.